Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. How much you miss it. And you miss it.
Let's get it talking, man. What's going on, guys? My name is Fortunato.
And my name is Hader.
And this
welcome to the
Positive Guys podcast episode 2. We'll get it next week.
We'll get it next week for sure.
So, guys, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody. Myself and Hader have been tremendously appreciative and honored about the support we've gotten this past maybe a few hours since we released it.
100%.
100% was said maybe 14 million times in the last episode. But yeah, it's just the amount of support we've gotten, guys, has been crazy. You guys personally messaged us, and that's exactly not. It's just amazing to see that, because people messaging us is something that, knowing that we're doing good and knowing that, it's really we're getting the message across to you guys, no matter how many people are watching it. As long as we always say, as long as it touches one person, it really works out.
Yeah, I really think it was super unexpected for us. And after we made the first podcast, it's insane how many people messaged us and DM'd us, and we really appreciate it. I've been getting 5-10 DMs a day, just trying to help people, and people really loved it. And the video was really long.
Yeah.
We're sorry about that. It was our first podcast. It was very raw. But I know that after time it's going to get shorter and shorter. But for those people who stayed
it's crazy,
30 minutes,
a lot of people told me that.
It means the world to us for real.
Yeah, that's just crazy. A lot of times when I scroll on YouTube or I'll scroll on Instagram or Facebook, I'll never watch a video
Never.
over
If it's
5
minutes. Yeah, never.
Fuck that.
Never.
But it was crazy that you guys actually watched the whole video, and you guys actually told us to watch the whole video.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, the parts that you guys liked and that it really touched you. And that's what's cool about it, because as you know, we're raw.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what I'm trying to say, and we're not gonna hold back anything. We're gonna say everything, especially on this episode, guys. This episode is gonna be really just out there.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%.
So it's just gonna be our life, our family, our friends, relationships, and us giving you advice and experience of what we've been through.
Exactly.
So, guys, today we noticed that it's fun to have two guys, but it's also fun to be more. And we always wanted to have as the episodes go on, the guests and everything. And we figured that this gentleman, he's actually he's in my family, was one of the best for it to be part of us, and for it to be part of the podcast and to share his experiences and everything. So without further ado, Luca Danza. There you go.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming.
No problem at all. So, guys, if you guys don't know, Luca is he's really for myself, he's a big motivator, because he has his own personal Instagram page, Ambition Simulator, and he really posts positive quotes every single day.
Yeah, and I completely love that. Every day is a new quote. It's an inspiring quote, and when we saw that, we really, fell in love with the idea that he portrays every single day of just helping people every day with a positive quote, and just giving someone the ambition to be better. And we really like that. And when Fortunato told me that he wanted to invite him over to come here, I thought it was an amazing idea.
Yeah, I just feel like the more the merrier. And Luca, I kind of want to understand what's your how do you feel about the podcast exactly when you watched it? Because I know he watched it and he kind of let me know it was amazing and everything. But what did you like about it? And what do you think what me and Hader are doing, especially with you coming on? What do you think what we have going for it in the future?
It was because you guys are almost my age. And
Yeah.
You guys have done so much, and there's people that think that there's a limit to what they have to do, and they have to reach it between a certain age, and it gives them stress, and that stresses people out. And you see people doing so much at your age, and you think everyone should be doing that. So
Exactly.
and it's it builds almost a constraint of where you have to be.
Exactly.
For sure.
100%.
I feel like a lot of the time, age is taken as a really it's not taken as a good thing, because a lot of times, especially when, myself in my field, age is always taken as a number that you're too young to do things. And I like the point you gave, that age is just a number. But I want to get into the podcast right forward, and guys, I want to just talk about it. I'm going to make Hader start it off. I want to make Hader talk about one topic that's the most important is relationships.
Yeah. So what we were talking about earlier the other day when the camera was off was relationships and how relationships affect mental health.
Yeah.
Now I spoke to someone yesterday about relationships and they believe that I told them that mental health kind of gives it like a burden on someone else's shoulders, right? That's what I felt like, but I feel like sometimes it doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily a burden on someone else, but it can be, you know. And I feel like mental health. If you're going through mental health and struggling through that, I feel like it's very important for you to take a step back and really decide whether or not you're ready for this relationship. I think that's 100% important. For me personally, in my experiences, right, when I was in a relationship, I wasn't there mentally, right? I was bipolar, I was paranoid, I had so many problems, I was depressed, and I kind of put all that out in my relationship. And it's not fair to you know, everybody else has their own struggles. It's not fair to go through mental health and then put your significant other through your your struggles as well, you know. I feel like that's super unfair, and when you're in depression and anxiety and you know you have all this mental health and all this stress on your shoulders, you feel like, you know, you overthink everything.
Yeah, like I mean, like a lot of times, like you know, like it depends the relationship you're in, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
like a lot of people have those relationships where they're able to go through stuff with their significant other, but like a lot of time, you know, that other person is not willing to deal with that stuff at the moment. You understand? Because everyone has their own focus, and like, you know, I feel like especially now at the age where we are, a lot of people are focusing on their goals, their dreams, their schooling, and their jobs and everything. So having that significant other that's not healthy right now in the mind is something that's not the best.
Exactly, and especially when you have that significant other that's already mentally stable, that is healthy, that already has goals, and you know is dedicated and motivated to great things in their life, and then you yourself are not. It kind of pulls back at their life, and then it kind of like just
becomes a wave.
Exactly, that's it. And I feel like that's something that we really needed to talk about because mental health is super, super important. You need to think about it before you get in a relationship.
Yeah. What's your definition? Like, what would you say is like a relationship? Because people like, what's your idealistic view of love? Because
You know,
like,
I gotta say the truth. Like I'm in a 7-year relationship. I've been in a relationship since I was a kid, 15 years old, 16 years old, and I just feel like throughout the years, like I really learned a lot. I grew with my significant other, and I grew into the person I am today. And I learned through my hardships and my mental health of exactly what I was going through. But I'm happy and I'm grateful that I had that significant other in that time, because if I didn't, I don't know where I would be. So a lot of time, like with myself, I got into a relationship dealing with mental health. Understand? But like because I was able to talk to this person and build myself up into the person I wanted to be, it was easier for me. But it's not the case for everybody.
Exactly. For me, it wasn't the case. For me, it was, you know, it's for some people it's very hard for them to understand what mental health is, right? Not everybody understands it, and your significant other was always there, and my significant other was always there for me too, you know. And what I put her through was hell, and it was a lot of bad mistakes from my end, but you know I couldn't really control most of them, right? But yeah, what you're saying is completely right. You know, a lot of times your significant other can help you in most cases and communicate with you and help you get over mental health, but a lot of the times we do have this tendency of putting a burden on our significant others, especially when we're going through struggles like this.
Exactly.
And I think that it's very important to you know take a decision and take a look into your relationship and see if it's actually right. If you're actually doing the right thing by being with someone when you're going through these things. And one thing I regret the most is my relationship. I think would stand still to this day if I went to get help.
It's fucked up, bro. It's crazy, eh?
Like, it's fucked up. Like I never went to get help, and I think that's one of my biggest problems, right? I thought I could handle it by myself. I thought I could deal with it, and it made every day it built up and made everything worse for me, you know. And I think it's very important if you're going through something like that and you don't want to break up with your significant other or talk to them. I feel like you need to go get help and
you
seek
take action,
help. And take action for real, because this affects you, your relationship, and not only that, it affects your family too.
You know what? Like, I understand exactly what you're saying, especially when it comes to professional help. But having like a guest on today, I want to ask you, like, if like let's say like right now, if you're dealing with any mental health problems, anxiety, depression, or whatever you're dealing with, and you're in a relationship, would you seek help from a professional to cope in and stay in your relationship, or would you kind of like how you make your significant other work on you? You know what I'm trying to say? Or like, would you take that break and?
I think it depends how far it would go. Like, if it's like very like, if I see that it's like really, really
intense,
heavy, and it's like, and I can't deal with it.
So you decide just to like.
Yeah. But or else, I feel like in a relationship, you're supposed to like balance each other out. You're supposed to like.
Yeah.
one helps the other, one helps. Like you guys are like a big question I ask all the time is like, what comes out like what does she bring out of you that's good?
Yeah.
And what what does she do
Yeah.
for the like other way around? And I feel like that's really
That's
important.
That's exactly it. It's like especially with you, right? Like she was a good person, right? I never met her, but I'm saying what you described to me, she was a very good person.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like on your side, you have to deal with your stuff during the relationship before you could move on with her.
Exactly, and like it was too much, man. I couldn't deal with it anymore. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It was so hard for me to be in a relationship.
And it gets confusing of what it is. Like sometimes you're like, is it? Wait, do I love you? Do
Exactly.
I? And then you're confused, and then you really get lost.
Do I love you? Does she love me? You know, it's
But in
all
reality,
these
it's all in
questions.
your head.
Exactly.
It's literally.
And it's the worst thing in the world because it's not just me; it happens to everyone. You know,
Yeah.
and it's so man, it fucking impacts you so much in a relationship. Like, I seriously, it's the one thing I regret the most, and it's fucked me up till this day. You know, man, and if I could just explain to someone, like, if you're going through the same shit and you see it's taking a toll on your life and the life of your significant other, go get out.
I think that's the key right there, what you just said. Like, that's a perfect point. Like, if it's taking a toll on you, it's one thing, but if it's taking a toll on your significant other, there's a problem. There's a problem.
Like, yeah, it's and especially when that person is there for you through everything, man. It's, you know, man, we all make mistakes, but it's really important to take care of yourself before you can get with anyone else and love yourself.
Oh
before
yeah,
you can get
yeah.
with
Like I don't find like, especially like, moving on to that point, like, we're not only talking about like boyfriends and girlfriends, because like I've dealt with my like like relationships in the past with friends, and I mean like we discussed last episode,
Yeah.
But a girlfriend or a boyfriend is like it's very, very serious, because that person could be the one that you're spending the rest of your life with,
Yeah.
or it could be the one that you're spending the next week with.
Exactly.
Understand? But like, it really depends who's there for you. If you have someone that's very toxic that's with you, and you're thinking in your head that person will not help you, it's the best situation to just leave.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, like I was a very toxic person, and that's exactly it. Sometimes you have to leave, and sometimes you can't blame the others for leaving. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to do with
Exactly.
for real. And yeah, that's exactly it. I think that's a really good point on relationships, and that also ties into family, man.
Oh yeah, family's fucking huge.
Yeah,
Family's fucking huge. I feel like a lot of us deal with family issues.
yeah, 100%.
You know, and it comes with everybody, you know, because like if I speak for myself, you know, a lot of the times, and I speak for everybody out there, there's so many kids out there that are wanting to seek help, because like a lot of us, like there's in Canada especially, there's like 1 out of every 5 children that one parent died, like one parent is deceased in their like family tree, and it's not discussed a lot, and a lot of people don't discuss it. But like I've lost my mom for 12 years now, and like for me, it's something that a lot of people should talk about, because losing someone in your life, losing someone in your family tree is something that can really, really affect you, and it affected me. Especially with also my father, the same thing. You know, it affects the whole family tree, if you know what I mean.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you, right? You have that perfect family tree, right? You got everything there.
Yeah.
But there's so many things in life that people take for granted, like we talked about last episode.
Exactly.
You know, like you were talking about with just in general, like who your parents are and what they're able to do, what they're capable of doing for you.
That's
and what
it.
they provide.
Exactly, and that's exactly our next
I feel
point.
like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people take that for granted. You know, family, just having a bed,
Oh.
having food, and you know the financial support you get from your family. Like these are things that,
Our generation like fucking doesn't even think about.
I'm telling you the truth, man. It's insane how many kids I see take granted of their parents. You know,
Yeah.
swear at them and treat them like crap. It's like our parents, you know, give us so much, and you should be so grateful to have them.
You know, we only have one dad, we only have one mom.
Exactly.
So-
And it's I'm telling you, man. It's
Yeah, like I've done it in the past too. I've been spoiled. Like
we've all done it.
Yeah, I've been spoiled. I fucking get whatever I want when I was younger and everything. But there's a time where you have to realize that it's gonna end,
Exactly.
and then you gotta wake up and say like, listen, like I really gotta wake up and start doing my own things. And I understood that and everything, especially with the situations I've been in. But a lot of kids don't understand that. A lot of kids don't understand that, you know, for your mom or your dad to wake up in the morning and to be able to cook for you is already a blessing come true.
That's
You know what I'm trying to say?
and like I'm telling you, like no, I completely say this, like 75% of the world
Doesn't
doesn't believe in that.
Doesn't. Exactly.
That's a blessing. The fact that
Exactly.
you have a fucking bed. The
Oh, yeah.
fact that you know you have enough money. The fact that your parents give you financial support. Just these things. Just the fact that you could even go to fucking school. Like it's incredible. Like I see so many people take that for fucking granted and are still not happy. You know, and just because of materialistic things and because of like their parents not giving them something like money or like giving them like it's ridiculous. I feel like it's really important. I feel it's super important for you to take care of your parents, take care of your family.
And a lot of people take advantage of it, like you said. But it's
he's in school. Like you're a student, right? Like you live with your parents. So like what's kind of like your approach on that?
Like a lot of people blame their parents, but you're living with your parents. You're living under their house.
Exactly.
They only want the best for us, right? They've given up so much for us,
for
our futures.
Exactly.
But sometimes like they're so blind, like because you're so like you're so young that you don't even realize it. So you see it like, oh, they're paying for my school, but every parent does that.
That's huge.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It's the shame of like everybody. Like everybody goes to school. Everybody has this. Everybody's down.
How many times?
Buys their fucking kid a car,
but they don't have to do that.
Exactly.
Like, how many fucking times you tell your parents, like he has it? How come you can't get it for me?
100%.
You know what I'm trying to say? But like, I feel like a lot of times like, there's so many fucking things like, I don't have a cooked meal at home. And my dad does not know to cook. My mom used to be the provider to cook. Yeah. So when I go home and I gotta find a way for us to eat. Like, my dad will find whatever grocery he can buy. He'll buy the grocery. You know my dad. Yeah. So he'll buy all the grocery, but he can't cook it because he doesn't know how to cook, the poor guy. Yeah. So like, at the end of the day, like, I don't know how to cook either. So it's just the point, like, you're missing that key. And people don't understand that at home, when you go home tonight, you have a cooked meal.
Exactly.
I understand, but like, I gotta go home and I gotta find a way to cook it.
And that's so important because, like I explained to you last week, my mom's disabled and my dad's disabled too. So for them, my mom, she can't even drive the car. She can't do groceries or anything because she has a torn ligament and then a fracture in her leg. It's so hard for her to do these things. And when I see, that's the reason I really like. I hate it when people take advantage of their parents because I didn't have a lot of the things growing up that a lot of these kids had. I didn't have much. When I wanted something, my mom couldn't get it for me. My dad couldn't get it.
The other grind room stuff.
Exactly. And then when I see people like going to these fast food, like fancy restaurants and all this, like
I do it.
I didn't have financial support from my parents. Like a lot of these kids had it. I used to be very mad. I used to be spoiled as a kid. I used to be like what the fuck? How come these kids have this? That they have that? And then I grew up to realize that I'm not like everyone.
Exactly.
And there's people out there that aren't like everyone. There's a lot of families that aren't financially stable.
No.
There's a lot of families that aren't healthy. Like we all go through things. There's families that have lost.
Of course. I always say that. I always say like whatever you think is bad in your life, whatever you're unfortunate to have, someone is even worse than you.
Exactly.
We said it last
that's
literally open your eyes and like look outside for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I do. Like I know that my parents are going through this, but I know that I have a responsibility to take care of them, and I also know that there's people out there going through worse than me. Kids that don't have food, kids that don't have shelter,
You have no idea,
And that's what I'm saying. And like that's why I feel like it's so important for people to be like, fuck, let me take a step back. Let me do something nice for my parents today.
Yeah, exactly.
And it feels good. It's rewarding for yourself too.
Exactly.
Like even if it's something small, like I don't have a car. I borrowed the car.
I
take the car instead of putting $10 of gas because that's what I used. I'll fill it up.
Yeah, exactly.
$60.
Exactly. He's grateful for it.
And me, every time I wake up in the morning, give my mom a kiss for breakfast, bro. Like she makes me breakfast every morning. I give her a kiss on the forehead. I say I love you, and then I go to work. And it's the best thing in the world.
Exactly. I just think like right now, right here, we're all different family structures. If you think of it,
completely
different. I'm saying? Like, I look up to Luke because I met Luca's family, understand? Like, it's an ideal family. Like, he's got his sister, he got his brother, he got his mom and dad and everything. That's cool. I understand that. Like, that's really like that's the ideal family you want. But like coming from us, we have two different. I don't want to say issues, but we have two different stuff that we gotta handle. Two different struggles.
Yeah, two different struggles.
I understand. So it's cool to have all the input of what we're discussing.
It's different, and it's really cool because there's probably gonna be someone watching who's going through the same thing.
Exactly, and like what's cool like with Luke right now is that because he's hearing our struggles, like he's understanding what he has.
Exactly.
And he said it too. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you said it, right? Like you know exactly what's going on with us, so you know what's happening with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just feel like
I think that's really cool, and I think that's something that I love sharing, and I know that I have friends that have lost their parents.
Exactly.
And, it sucks, man. It's the worst thing, and that's why I always pray. Like I'm always so grateful, and I never take it out on my parents because at least I still have them.
You said it, bro. That's the biggest thing, and like especially like going into our next point, I find a lot of us don't even because us like us we have struggles from their physical and also mental and also like not here, like what I'm trying to say. Yeah. But like a lot of people have struggles with their parents being here, but going through issues because of their parents.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like like this coming from like I had so many friends. Like I'm grateful to have an amazing father. He's a great supporter in everything. But like I had so many friends that they've been through so many things with their parents, just like of verbal abuse, physical abuse, and all sorts of abuse. You know, what I'm trying to say, you go to school, you must hear it all the time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
But do you agree that like not physical abuse, but like discipline?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like it's
I believe in
impossible.
discipline.
But like kids these days, you can't discipline them.
You can't hit a kid no more.
Yeah, it's different. You
Can't
can't
hit a
hit
kid
a kid no more.
You can't hit a kid no more.
I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm saying like
There's no
When I was
Yeah,
growing up,
that's-
when I was growing up, you get hit.
You get slaps in the head, man. No, but I just feel like a lot of times you're right about that. Like there should be a type of discipline, but like kids these days are really spoiled, and we're a different generation. But a lot of the time, it's a lot of the times the parents' fault.
It is. It is.
Understand? Because without like we know what they always say, like when a baby swears, understand? Like where's that swear word coming from?
the parents. But you know, it's also like I feel like they also don't discipline their children, because I feel like now it's such a social norm for like parents to
you
do
look
things
down
that we
on
never
if you
did.
discipline.
Exactly, but like it's like you know, I see kids that are 7 years old, 6 years old who have fucking iPhones, who have iPhones already.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like,
I was one of those kids.
You're
I had a
already,
flip phone in grade
you
five.
see, like that's what I'm saying. Like, you're
I was
already
so-
like mentally like programming something in your child's head.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
to be like, you know, to already like fucking not listen to you. You know,
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
it's just the way the world is. The world's turning, man. It's
No,
it's,
you know
it's
what it
fucked
is
up.
like.
It's just changing.
Yeah, because like you know when we become parents, when they knock on wood, I hope you become the best parent possible. But like, who knows what our generation, like what our future generation is gonna fucking be?
That's what I'm saying.
If we're this bad, I don't want to say bad, but if we're this difficult. Imagine, oh, I like that fucking one. That's a solid one. That's the best one.
Mom, I'm fine.
There you go. Grab a Tibbet. We're all gonna grab a Tibbet. Where the fuck's the birthday one? Oh, there you go.
No, you got a birthday one?
Yeah, got a birthday one. Not all four.
You're an asshole. You should have got them all birthdays.
Pretty fucking true.
I'm fucking joking.
Okay. So, you're true. Talk like the truth in front of the camera. So what I'm trying to say is that, what the fuck was I about to say?
Discipline kids.
Discipline kids, like if our generation is so bad, imagine the future generation was coming, right? It's gonna be even more difficult. But
If anything, we should be more like
Open.
yeah, because we see like we're
How
looking at
open can we
pictures.
be?
Yeah, we see like pictures of literally kids in like other countries that have nothing.
yeah.
But we're like we just block that out. We just
know.
scroll past. You go right,
It's like all we
right through
believe
it.
in is now. And it's kind of like that also brings us to like another point of why we're helping these people out on the streets, why we're helping families in need, because
Exactly.
all you see is your family and all you see is the circle around you.
And going back to the point that we said before, I love that point that you guys have said, is that, you know, when we help people on the streets, is that, like I've been to like families' homes that the kid doesn't even have a blanket to put on top of them. Understand? But like I'll go home at night and my heaters are so hot that I gotta take out the blanket.
Yeah.
I always think about it, and we don't know how grateful we are, but it's just different. Like I always say that Canada is not a first world country, but we're all, it's just how the community treats each other. You know, how life was given to you, and everyone's given life different, like we said.
Yeah.
But what I want to touch on especially is that having those relationships, those bad relationships with your parents, and a lot of the times us having to keep those relationships because you're your mom and dad. Now, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Like, if your parents are abusive, physical, verbally, and just downright one of the worst parents, okay? But now, are you gonna like toughen it up, stay with them, hold it down because they're your parents, or you're gonna fucking just leave? I always want to know this.
I think it's different because we've never been in that position.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't think we could speak for anyone that's been in that position, but I know that if I was verbally or physically or emotionally, mentally abused by my parents,
Day to day. I think.
and if I can make enough money by the time I'm 18, 16, I would leave. And I think that's the
perfect.
reality of life right now. I feel like a lot of these kids who leave they do that because of that and because also of drug abuse.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's a
substance
big
abuse,
thing. That's a big
addiction,
thing.
all of that. I feel like
Yeah.
we're not on that spot, so it's really hard for us to say.
Yeah, what do you think? Like, what do you think about that? Like, would you hold it down if your parents were like toxic?
I don't think so. No.
No, you would?
I'm like, if something bothers me for a certain amount of time, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's like, and I realize, and some people tell me, and I just like ignore it, and then for me, I have to realize for myself. So if I start to realize like this isn't good for me, I think it's.
I think it's a
gone.
normal human instinct to like.
I'm different though.
You would stay.
I would stay.
What?
I can't even like. It sounds stupid for me to say, but I always had like the kind of like picture in my head that like, no matter who your parents are, they birth you into this world. So it's up for you to no matter how much stress they give you or no matter what they're doing, you have to hold it down and stay with
I
them.
think there's a limit.
Yes, there's
I
a
really
limit.
think there's a
But
limit.
like I shouldn't even talk because I haven't been to any of that. I'm blessed to have the parents I had, and
Me too.
the parents.
When you say abuse, what kind of abuse? Like physical?
Everything. Yeah, like, even if
You
it
would
was,
say?
He's
yeah.
talking about the worst parents.
Yeah, I'm talking about the worst parents. Like if my
Like if
parents,
you get home and you just get hit in the head, just like.
I would stay at a limit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if it was substance abuse or anything, I would have to hold down with it.
I think that if they're like
If they're doing it to themselves,
like
Well, if they're doing it to
taking drugs,
themselves and if they're taking drugs, then
then I would stay.
I would stay and have to help them.
It's crazy though, like,
you
it's-
have to.
it's a cute-
But it's
the context.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like a lot of times, like especially the kids I meet these days, like a lot of them just dip at young ages.
Yeah, and
For, like-
they could be saving for like
Yeah,
7
but,
more
like-
years, 8 more years.
Exactly.
I used to also do that. I used to tell my mom that I was gonna leave before I was.
Yes,
20
yes.
Now I say I'm gonna stay till I'm 30.
And
Yeah.
now I can't. And now I can't because I have to take care of them. And,
Exactly.
and now I realize, like, you're a fucking idiot. She provides me with a house, with food, with all of this, and like.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna leave my parents now, especially in the state they're in. Like I'm the only one who has to help them, and I'm the only one who can help in the house.
Exactly.
Sister. So it's like now I have a responsibility.
There you go.
And like it's very important.
You have a role in the
And
house.
it kind of goes with like the drug abuse. Yeah, my parents aren't drug addicts or anything, but they're disabled. They have trouble, and they're getting old. And
So you have a role in the
I
house.
have a role in the house. I
Yeah.
could fucking leave like an asshole, but
Yeah.
no,
No.
They raised me and they gave me everything. And
There you go.
All they thought about was my future.
There you go.
So I'm gonna make sure I take care of them.
But one message after like just talking about that is I want to say for anybody like that's suffering out there with any type of abuse that you have, I feel like I say that you should hold it down and everything, but guys, if like everyone has their limits.
Yeah.
So like if you can't handle it, guys, get out of the situation.
Or seek help.
Seek help. Yeah, seriously, seek help because. At the end of the day, no one should have to go through any type of abuse.
Yeah.
Understand it's the tolerance you have, and it's the tolerance you have for your parents and the love you have. But at the end of the day, you gotta always look out for yourself.
You have to
And you're
look out
always
for
like
yourself, too.
you're one call away technically.
Yes.
Just, like you can call anyone.
Yeah.
And people, I feel like in this day and age, like if you call someone and they don't answer, you're expecting the phone to be right here.
Yeah.
If the phone does, if they don't answer the phone, doesn't mean they're mad at you. Doesn't mean
Exactly.
anything. They're
Exactly.
busy.
Exactly. That's
Cognitive.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
If you already like have anxiety and they're not answering, it adds on to that,
That's
and
so
then
big,
your
yeah.
anger comes. Like you become angry.
That is so
but
big.
It's not even their fault. It's completely on you because
Exactly.
you're setting expectations for someone to answer.
Exactly. But the thing is that Hater said last episode is that suicide.
Yeah.
Okay, and going into this conversation. Okay, like if you're at the point that like your relationships with your girlfriend, boyfriend, mom, dad, cousins, whatever it is so bad in your living situation, are you seeking the professional help? Are you seeking that help? What are you doing? Like, are you going to be able to?
It's hard, man. It's hard to seek that help when you're going through such things like that because I feel like suicide just becomes like a normal normal thing right after you deal with depression and anxiety and like
Because like if you feel like if you go to bed and the next morning you wake up, it's the same thing.
it's the same thing every single day. It's
You
just
feel heavy.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
feel
yeah.
heavy, and then you
It's
just
not even
like.
heavy, man. You just feel like killing yourself, and then like suicide just becomes normal, and it becomes a normal thought, and it's.
I know that, but that's one thing people don't understand though. They don't see it as like they're like, why would they do that to their family? Like, why did he kill him? Like, why? Did he kill himself? Why
I
did he do
hate,
that?
but I hate that.
It's suicide is something that's it's dealt. I've dealt with it. A lot of my friends have been through it. It's man, it's something that's so severe and so like it's you can't explain it. But the only one thing I can explain is that it's hard to go and get that help. But if you know that someone's struggling through that, you need to help them.
Yeah.
But through your downs, I feel like you have to take action.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who
It's
you
almost
help.
impossible. It's so hard to take action.
Yeah,
when you're
but
going
once
through
you
that.
take the first step, even if it's just getting out of bed and like
And
going for a walk around the house or like breathing.
That's why I made that Instagram post to really
Yeah, that's something I want to touch on. I want you to touch on that.
Yeah, I wanted to really show people that like someone is here, and I wanted to reach out to everyone because I've had people who have messaged me who go through suicidal thoughts, and I just wanted them to know, that I am here, and if ever they need to talk, I'll be here. And if you ever feel like committing suicide, just give this number a call.
Yeah, fucking right.
It's hard, but when I was going through it, I gave that number a call. And it's fucking important, man. But it's the scariest thing because nobody wants to talk.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
I think a lot of people are embarrassed of it too. I know it's like I know it's ugly. It's ugly to say. Like I don't feel good saying it, but it's the truth.
It's true. It's
Understand?
true. It's good because it's
People are
a lot
going
of
to
people.
judge you for sure.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of people think it's selfish, but it's when you.
It's not, bro.
And it's just like that. It's just like when your parents are verbally abusive, mentally abusive, all this. Like, how much more can you take?
Yo.
You know?
Yes, yes. And a lot of times, like, honestly, I've never been through a suicidal thought in my life.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, right? But you never know what life's going through. Like, you can lose your whole family tomorrow morning. What's going to be your thought after? Understand? You can lose your loved one tomorrow morning. What's your thought after?
Yeah,
Understand? So
exactly.
I just feel like a lot of times we say, "Yeah, we're perfectly in the good mind now of I'll never do that."
Yeah.
Who the fuck would do that? Who would kill themselves?
Yeah.
But you never know what life's coming to you. So always think about
It could change in the next
Yes,
10 minutes. It could
exactly.
take someone to call you and say someone just passed away.
exactly. Like I know when I lost my mom, I felt like killing myself right away.
Yeah.
And like you know what, that was a suicidal thought because I felt like, you know what, like
And it's normal because you feel like, what else do I like? I have nothing else to live for.
Exactly.
And she meant the world to me.
Exactly.
And she's gone now.
it also matters the moments you're in.
Oh yeah.
Understand? Like I know it's true. Like you know, like sometimes like I'll call you, you'll call me, and like it just be a bad funk. You know, like I won't feel it. Understand? So I would want to talk to you, or like you'll call me and like I would want to love to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I just feel like
But
you
if
have
every
go ahead.
bump on the road that you see technically, if you look at like in a graph, you would say, like you're looking at it like from 7 days, let's say, like a stock.
Yes.
It looks like the bump is like this, but then if you just like look at it from 10 years, from 5 years from now, it's like a little lump, and you're still going up.
For some of us.
Yeah.
For some of us.
But yeah, exactly. Unfortunate for her, but he's right about that. But a
But
lot.
that's really what it is, right? I think we should talk about this on the next episode because I think we're already at
Yeah.
maybe 30, 40 minutes.
We're back at 30-minute episode.
But I think what we can talk about on the next episode
Yes.
is how to get up, what we do every day to make ourselves happier and more positive. Because I remember last year I was probably in the worst position of my life. And this year, I'm getting up every morning.
Yeah.
You text me at 8 a.m. I respond. Before,
Yeah.
you would text me, I'd respond at 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah, and
because that's when I would wake up.
Exactly,
And I think it's very important to try to help people, stay positive and stay fucking like this right here.
Stay fucking motivated.
It's stay motivated because
Yeah.
we've been through so much and like we keep talking about the negative, but I think it's super important to tell them, like this is
Exactly.
what we do every day, and this is what fucking helps us.
And you know what's fucking cool is that like I had the idea of doing this podcast, like I talked about last episode, and then I know we said it already, but then I met Hater. We created the podcast, and now we brought on Luca. Like we're gonna have 100 people soon. But like that's fucking cool, man.
It's,
that's awesome. That's because
that's how it is.
Look where you were in your life before this. Look where I was in my life before this. Look where you were in life before this, and now we're linking together to make our positivity affect other people.
It's amazing.
You know what I'm trying to say?
It's a fucking blessing.
Exactly, because like going back a month from now, we didn't know we were gonna do this. You understand? But like I think after having a guest, how do you feel after doing it? How do you feel after doing it? I feel 100%.
100%.
But I think that's super important, and like honestly, it goes also to show that once you do something you love and you're passionate about, it becomes so much easier
Yeah,
for
it's
you
fun.
to wake up every morning and be more positive.
I know that when you're going through depression and mental health, it's so hard for you
Yeah.
to do the things you love and get up and just breathe like a normal fucking human being, But
But
like,
you have to find one habit through that.
exactly,
Yes.
one habit,
Yes.
one fucking. I'm telling you, one fucking hobby, anything that just makes you so happy and positive. And
I think
this
it's
right
fun.
here,
I
I
think
feel
it's
like
fun.
gives us such a big push.
And that's exactly it. So guys, how we were saying, I know they're probably gonna watch this when Thursday is already over. What Thursday was today?
Thursday?
Or Thursday. So, but like we didn't have the event because it was too short notice.
Yeah.
But let's look at us right now. We're 3 people. Imagine this on a bigger scale with 15 to 20 people talking about the same thing. Obviously not getting filmed and everything, but just how positive it can be. Because I couldn't wait to do this. I was telling you I couldn't wait to do this episode today. We actually filmed it like 2 days before the first episode.
Yeah.
And we want to film it right away. And I was telling Luca too. We were messaging each other the whole fucking the night. And we were saying, okay, cool. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, just
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's nerve wracking. Like when you first get on, you're like, you don't feel
Exactly.
comfortable. You have to ease into it.
yeah.
And it's not, people see like, okay, I'm gonna use me as an example.
Yeah, go ahead,
I
go
make
ahead.
quotes every day,
Yeah.
and
Ambition
some days-
similar. Ambition similar.
Yeah, we'll put the link. He'll put the link.
Follow. And then our giveaway coming soon, maybe. Who knows?
Like sometimes it's not easy just to think of a quote. That's why sometimes my quotes go up at 4 p.m. because my mind isn't like, and challenging myself to make that quote
There you
makes
go.
a difference.
Exactly. You're telling yourself right now.
Yeah.
We're all challenging ourselves.
Yeah, this is tough. It's easier to say something on the internet and just write it than talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because now we're showing our faces. We have-
Exactly. Like I just find it cool.
Don't mind if I do.
Go ahead. Strawberry jam. So I just find it cool that we're kind of, putting this all together in a good context. And I feel like today was a very good podcast in my point of view, because it really, really, showed the context of having relationships, showing that context of having, toxicity sometimes in your family, and having also being thankful with your parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like next episode we should touch upon how. You were saying something last time, how we could
how to stay more positive and
there you go.
do stuff you love, and I feel like that's really important for mental health, and seeking help is the number one thing. I
Yes.
can't stress that out enough.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next episode, but does that wrap it up for today's podcast?
Yeah, man. So guys, you know what? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Positive Guys podcast. Thank you, Luca, for being here.
No problem.
Luca's going to be here for sure next episode, or
Yeah.
whatever episode we have.
100%.
There you go, 100%. So we kind of want to make this an every week thing. We kind of want to make this an every week thing, guys. But we're really, really into it, and we're not the type of people that are going to quit anything, and we're going to keep pushing it until it affects more people, as it already affected some people.
Yeah.
But guys, when you see this, the episode will be out. So
we really
tune in for
appreciate it.
episode 3.
Wait, what was the? Maybe we should conclude on what we spoke about. Relationships.
Yes.
We spoke about relationships and how if you're in a relationship and you're going through
There you
mental
go.
health,
There you go.
it's really important for you to double think your relationship,
Don't
especially when you're
overthink.
going, don't
Don't
overthink and don't double think and
That's it. Just don't think. Don't think. All right, guys.
Take care.
Fortunato, Hater, Luca. See you next episode, episode 3. Ciao. That was awesome, man.
Let's see how long it is. I want to see how long that first one was.
Awesome.
Because we're already at 12 minutes on this one.
Yo, that was